8:52 is the time now, and right now roughly 23,000 DTE Energy customers are without power because of yesterday's storms that rolled through. And you can see the areas most affected are on this map right here. This is a live look at it. And crews are out trying to restore that power as quickly as possible, but we do not know when everybody will be back online. And here to help homeowners keep their homes safe from power outage related damage, because that is the thing, is Sean Quinn, the Director of Operations for Zollman Restoration. Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. What is the most common damage you hear of after a power outage?
Well, in a basement, you know, you have your sump pumps, and when the power goes out, what happens is that water can creep up through the sump pump, come through drains. If the finished basement, you have finished product down there, finished furnishings, your personal property, all that can come up and absorb that.
That's
and cause
terrible.
damage. It's
When
terrible.
that happens,
it's a terrible
nobody
mess.
wants that to happen. So what can people do?
Well, if before a power goes out, you want to maybe have a water backup system. So if you are fortunate enough to be on city water, they sell a city water pump that would actually pump the water out of the house if the power should go out. If you don't have city water and if you don't want to have that, you can also do a battery backup system, or you can purchase a small generator that can run the sump pump until the power returns.
Now, when you're talking about a generator, even a whole house generator or a partial one, what are some important notes that people should, because a lot of people want to just install them themselves, what should they be aware of? Yeah,
so they have the whole house generators. You can buy a large generator, it ties into your electrical system, and you can power other things in the home. So the only thing we would suggest, if you do that, to have it professionally installed. What times happen is they try to install it themselves. You can backfeed if you don't have the proper switches, and backfeed the power lines, and it could put the power company workers at danger if it could backfeed.
That would be awful. In terms of like insurance coverage, okay, so say you were not ready and now you have damage. What's important to remember to keep in your insurance policy?
So in your insurance policy, you should have a water backup policy. It's a rider that you have. And unfortunately, sometimes when we go out to losses to try to help some clients, they find out after the fact that they don't have coverage. And so you want to make sure you have coverage prior to. And a lot of insurance companies will only offer a minimum coverage. So you want to assess what you have and evaluate the cost of things in the basement, you're finished, you know, if you finish the basement, what those costs are, and make sure you have the proper amount.
What is the most common question you get from people after a power outage?
How much is out of my pocket, and what's the insurance company going to cover?
Yeah, that would be a big one.
And how fast can it be restored?
And typically, how fast can it be?
Well, I think it depends on the extent. I mean, usually to dry down a basement takes about 3 days. And then depending on the damage, it can take a week to multiple weeks, depending on how much is affected, if it's finished or not.
And I remember the floods we had some years, a few years ago in August, where it seemed like entire neighborhoods were dealing with issues in their basement all at once. So you definitely, the people who have coverage tend to get help
a little quicker.
Yep. It makes sense. All right, thank you. Those are wonderful points to take up.
Thank you for having me.
Sean, for coming on from Zollman Restoration.